The oldest spoken language that died and rose again. They say language is living. They say once a tongue falls silent, it's gone, buried with the bones of ancient poets. But what if a language could resurrect? What if a people carried their voice not in the streets, but in their scriptures? Not in marketplaces, but in memory? What if the mouth never fully closed? What if the silence was a myth? Let's talk about Hebrew. 3,000 years deep, a language born in the deserts of Canaan, inscribed on stone tablets, sung by prophets, etched into the scrolls of time. And yes, it stopped being a vernacular at some point, somewhere around the 3rd or 4th century CE. Hebrew slipped from the marketplace and entered the synagogue. From family meals to festival prayers, it took on a new life, liturgical, sacred, scholarly. But did it die? That's where the argument gets semantic. But semantics matter because they shape what we believe. What does it really mean for a language to be spoken? Must it be shouted in a marketplace to count or whispered in a temple? Must it be passed from mother to child or from teacher to disciple? Because here's the truth. Spoken means spoken. And Hebrew never stopped being spoken. It lived in exile, just like its people. Chanted in Morocco, murmured in Poland, recited in Yemen, echoed in Baghdad. It wasn't dead. It was being tempered. Not a street language, but a sacred one. Spoken in prayers and study halls and fiery debates between sages, and quiet meditations between soul and Elohim. Used to pray, to write, to weep, to marry and to bury. Hebrew was always on the lips of the faithful. Not extinct, just reclusive, just waiting for a voice to call it home. Enter 19th century. A man named Eliezer with a dream absurd to make Hebrew the language of the streets again. Not just of saints, but of school children, of farmers and bus drivers, of babies. So began a resurrection like no other in human history. Well, as far as a language is concerned. Oh, but scratch that one too, because he was the Word, wasn't he? Huh. That feels significant somehow. So let's again ask, what's the oldest spoken language on earth right now? People say Tamil, and yes, it's been a mother tongue for over 2,000 years. They say Greek, and sure, it's evolved but remained in use since Mycenaean days. Some say Chinese, Farsi, Arabic, and all have ancient claims. But Hebrew is older than all of them, and it's been spoken aloud for over 3,000 years. Yes, even during its so-called dormancy, it was spoken in real voices by real people, not as background noise, but as sacred speech, as study, as survival. So let's stop confusing vernacular with spoken. Because if spoken means spoken, then Hebrew never left, never died, and no language on earth has been spoken longer. So no, it wasn't dead, just dormant, like a seed buried deep in soil, waiting for the right sun, the right soil, the right time. And now it's alive, in cafes in Tel Aviv, and WhatsApp texts, and love songs and lullabies, and protest chants and startup code. A language 3,000 years old, still young enough to hold your child's first word, the past and the present, in one sacred breath. The same language is living, but sometimes it doesn't just live. It survives. It rises. It speaks again. And it never really stopped.